How you doing? And thanks for tuning in to Wicked Warnings, your number one source for construction and emergency safety strobe lighting equipment for cars, vans, buses, bicycles, tricycles, brand new Ford Raptors, especially brand new 2023 Ford F-250 Super Duty Platinum pickup trucks like what you're looking at here. Now this is a beautiful black truck for our good friends over at Al Warren Oil. It's going to go get some graphics and some ceramic coating after it's done here, and because of this beautiful black paint, I had to accent it right here next to some Harley Davidsons, because what's more American than Harley Davidsons and Ford trucks, right? Especially draped in beautiful black. I like black stuff. That's my fleet, my truck, my trailer, my bikes, they're all black. I like it. My company color. Anyways, let's take a look at this truck. What are we looking at anyways, right? Well, it's a brand new Platinum Super Duty. The first thing I want to point out is, as you notice, the headlights shut off. Ford has adopted the DRL headlights turning off after a period of time on the 23s. There's no way around this at the moment. However, you could leave your parking lights on if you want to bypass that. Now, Ford will leave your parking lights on quite a bit longer than it would leave the headlights active. So if you do not leave the parking lights on, and this is key off, everyone, key off, no motor running, no anything. If the key is on, the DRL and the headlight is going to work indefinitely. But when you shut the truck off, turn off the key, everything's shut down. Without the parking lights on, the DRL turns off after about 5 minutes. With the parking lights on, it'll keep that circuit live for about 20 or 30 before it shuts down the parking lights for you as a preventative maintenance on the battery. However, let's talk a little bit about what you're seeing here. Top to bottom, we've got a Wicked Warnings auto flasher kit on those 5 roof lights. Yes, it's plug and play now. It plugs in behind the grab handle on the passenger side of the dash. You run the wire straight down through a grommet in the passenger floor and right over to your auxiliary switches. If you don't have auxiliary switches, you don't need to go through the grommet in the floor. You just simply run the wire straight down from the grab handle behind the glove box and over to your dashboard switch. Because so many of these trucks have auxiliary switches, we're leaving the switching on all of the auto flasher kits up to you. That way I don't sell you a switch you don't need. If you need a switch, we'll sell you one. We got plenty. We got a remote control even. But we don't want to put it in the kit if 9 out of 10 customers don't need it. So that is a plug and play roof light flasher kit. Does not change the roof lights. Does not have any risk of lenses turning yellow from UV exposure, leaking into your cabin, ruining your headliner. None of that, because you don't change the roof lights. You just leave them be. And you wire it with a plug and play behind the passenger grab panel. It takes about 10 minutes to install. And you get 29 different patterns. I'm a fan of the one that I'm showing right there. Just a quick single flash. Working our way down, the C-Ring headlight kit, plug and play behind each headlight. It is in conjunction with our turn signal kit. We have a kit for the turn signal and a kit for the C-Ring and a kit for both. That way you can pick if you want orange warning only, white warning only, or orange and white like you see here, amber and white. 3 different options on the headlight, all of them plug and play. All of the headlight kits install quickly by dropping down the fender liner from right behind the headlight. It's a couple of, I think it's 6.3 millimeter bolts, and the fender liner can be folded back and you can get right at the plug for the headlight. You plug and play behind each headlight, simply unplug the headlight, plug our kit in, plug the headlight harness back into our kit, and attach the other end to the upfitter switches. If you don't have upfitter switches, you can pass right through the driver's firewall to your switch on the dashboard if you prefer. Once again, front D C-Ring and front signal, plug and play. In the grill, we have some mpower. That's a 4-inch mpower. I'm going to put some additional info at the end of this video about how we did that grill. We used a 3/4 aluminum. We basically custom cut our own brackets and used a VHB with our 3M promoter, high bond VHB, to mount those 4 mpowers in an X pattern. Customer request. He really wanted the X pattern, really wanted it in that platinum grill, so we did it. Working below that, our fog light flasher. Yeah, another plug and play. That's going to pop into a connector right behind the bumper, the main bumper connector, and it's going to have a lead of wire that's going to go up to your auxiliary switches or into the cabin to your regular rocker switch. Again, 29 patterns. As you can see, you may alternate the fogs if you like, or simultaneously flash them, completely up to your pattern selection. And again, plug and play. So that's our setup on the front of this beautiful new Super Duty. Here's a bit of an angle, about 45 degrees off the front of the truck there, where you can start to see our side lighting package taking effect. You can see how the front headlights do wrap around quite a bit, and they do offer some decent side warning, and you can even reflect off of the fog there. It hits the bezel, and you get a little bit of side flash. In the side badge, these new badges, there's not enough room for much of anything. So we recess mounted one of our Mini Hex lights in amber white, and we had to glue that in with a black melt adhesive. It's a hot glue gun with a real industrial black glue you can find. And we mounted that in the back and glued it all in, made it look pretty. But that's a one-way street. Once you cut the hole and glue that in, the badge is damaged. It is what it is. But we did want a badge light on this truck, and customer was okay with putting a hole through it for that. So that's what we did. Right below that, on that new forward midship step, front of the wheel step, Ford has put on the bedside, we have another 4-inch mpower. Now, you might notice that is synchronized with the 3-inch mpower that we put on the side of the rear taillight. I did a lot of synchronization work on this particular truck just to try to make the display look and work well. So we synchronized the bedside lights together. Those mpowers are on intercycle. The side forward and the two bedsides, as you can see, are in sync. Here you can get a little bit closer look. You can also see how that LED red tail light that we are flashing with a plug-and-play auto flasher gives you some side warning as well. And here you can see the badge light as well there. All right, let me take you around the back and show you. Holy cow, it's loud and proud around the back. Yeah. So we've got a cargo light auto flasher. Right next to that is our mpower bezel. It's a Ford truck bezel with 4x2 mpowers. And you can see how those, as I stand back just a tiny bit, are synchronized with the below tailgate 4-inch mpower. That's a 4x2 mpower up on the cab and a 4-inch mpower below the tailgate. And man, do they work good together. They really do perform quite nicely. Right above those under tailgate lighting, you'll see a plug-and-play rear signal flasher as well as a rear taillight flasher. Now on these 23 high-end trim with the full LED tail, this is important, listen, with the full LED tail, you are not able to flash the reverse at the plug of the tail light. So at this point in filming, we're not going to have a reverse kit for the high-level trim taillights unless we go with a wire cut in the cabin of the truck, which will force you to flash both reverse in sequence simultaneously, like some of the other more boring kits that are on the market. I don't like that, so I don't know if I'm going to do that. So as of right now, we've got red taillight or amber signal for the taillight kits, and they are both plug and play. Whether you order the amber signal only or the red parking only or the amber signal and red parking, it's going to come equipped with one set of plug and play adapters, which will plug in behind each taillight. So as you can see, you can synchronize two kits together or choose one or the other. It's totally up to you. This is going to be your end result. Now, something I didn't tell the customer about, but I wanted to take advantage of, was the flood feature, specifically on these mpower lights. And what we've done is we've activated switch number 5 to flood the under tailgate lights, to flood the upper 4x2 lights, to flood the front midship, as well as the under tail side-facing lights, and to flood the 4 grille. Now, you don't have to have the warning on to use the flood. So this 360 flood is beneficial and useful if you just need some extra loading light. However, if you creatively select which lights you flood, even if you needed warning and flood, as you can see here, he still has his roof lights, C-ring and signal, fog lights. He still has his badge light, and around the back we still have our rear signal and parking, as well as cargo flashing. So I left some high and some low still flashing. That way, if he wants flood and warning, he's not totally screwed, losing all of his warning. So you do have to think about it when you wire these things for all the different usage people are going to do. They're going to play with every switch. They're going to turn them all on. They're going to turn them on at different times, different combinations. You want to make sure everything works no matter what combination they're using. So I turned off that flood switch. We returned it back to standard warning. I hope you enjoyed this video. There's an awful lot as far as wiring on this one is concerned with, an awful lot to this kit. So I'm not going to get into vocalizing all that. I'm going to write a paragraph about how this is wired up, and it's up to you to follow it. If you like this kit, we're going to put it all together. We're going to put a great big package with every damn thing I used on this truck right here. Feel free to modify. You don't need to buy everything, but if you like it and you want to repeat it exactly the same way as you see, then you'll need everything in this package to do the job. So any questions, please email, please reach out before you order so I can make sure that you get the right stuff. If you have a mid-level, which has light bulbs in the taillight, like a Lariat, then I can plug and play your reverse lights. So just to let you guys know, the Lariat taillights, I've already filmed one and we have a plug and play for it, but the higher end platinum taillights, the reverse is a no-go. So once again, thanks for tuning in to Wicked Warnings, your number one source for construction and emergency safety strobe lighting equipment for brand new Ford Super Duties 2023 Platinums. Remember, you saw it here first. See you guys in the next video. Hey y'all, just want to do a little behind the scenes here on this grill for this new Super Duty. Show y'all kind of what I got, how I wrapped it up here, what I did. Made some 90-degree brackets out of some 3/4 aluminum for our mpower 4-inch VHB mounts. Definitely clamped this overnight here just to make sure it was stuck great. Did use the primer promoter on the VHB. I'm confident it's not going anywhere. Then I wired these all nicely like this. Yeah, I know you can technically see this from the front, but that little bit's going to disappear right in there. I tied these two together here. I tied these two together here. Then we went here. We put a nice 3-way weather pack. That's power, ground, and flood. That way the whole grill can come off when needed. And all 4 of these mpowers are all mounted nicely. And that's what they look like in the front. So we'll have more video on this, but the customer request was 4 grill lights, X pattern in the grill. We're doing the headlights and everything over here, so that's why I brought it in just a little. You could probably put it on the outer if you wanted, but I like it. Just want to show you the back and how nicely everything we do here at Wicked Warnings is coming out. That's how it's going to look.